Hey, it looks like we're good.
What I'm getting is a message that says the content of this meeting is being sent to one or more apps.
All right,
And
perfect.
I'm clicking OK. So,
Right.
All right. Yep, it does look like we're live, so just want to make sure because we don't want to have that problem again. Trying to check my phone. I don't know if anyone else can check their phone.
Oh, do, see.
Yeah, looks like we are, so. Okay,
It says this content of this meeting is being sent to one or more apps, so.
okay, so we're good.
Yes,
Hello,
there is.
everyone. Good evening. It's 6:05. My name is Karen Lee, and I am the administrative consultant for the Community Preservation Committee. And we have here with us the chair, Bob McCarroll, who will introduce the rest of the committee. Thank you for joining us.
thank you, Karen. So with us tonight are Conservation Commission Representative Juanita Martinez, Housing Authority Representative Willie Thomas, Park Commission Representative Clinton Harris, Historical Commission Representative Judy Crowell, Neighborhood Representative Steve Bosworth. We may be having one or two additional members logging in, and I would announce that long-serving planning board member Gloria DiFilippo has chosen to resign from the planning board. And under state law, when you're no longer on your representative board, you're no longer on the Community Preservation Committee. So she sent today her resignation. And I just want to publicly thank Gloria. Gloria was part of the citizen group that advocated for CPA adoption back in 2016. And she was the representative of the planning board since the committee was formed in April of 2017. So she served us for 8 years as an official member, and I miss her. I've already spoken to the planning department and told them we need a new member, but they have until September to figure that out. So with that being said, the first item is adoption of the minutes from the last meeting. We should have gotten them. If someone's read them, if they could make the motion to adopt.
I so move.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. So we'll start the vote. Steve,
Yes.
Juanita,
Yes,
Clinton,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. The next item of business is a request for extensions from the park department for a few of their ongoing projects. So Laura, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can, let's first, let's talk about the ones that you need an extension on.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you guys. We're making progress on all of our projects. This spring there's been a few delays in some things, whether it was relating to tariffs or procurement, or just there's a lot of construction work happening right now. And we had some contractors finishing up some other jobs, and spring rain wasn't able to start. So there's been a few different factors this spring, but I want you to know we are working on these projects. And most of them, although we're requesting extensions till December, just to give us a little extra time, we do anticipate the majority of them being completed this summer. So the first one is the trolley barn. I know that this has been the long project for us, but the reason for the delay in this was just the availability of the shingles, which were in fact affected by the tariffs earlier this spring. And then we were going back and forth about whether or not the pressure treated shingle was the best option. And it's been determined that that would be the best option just for the longevity and the investment into the roof that you guys are putting in through CPA. So we're just waiting on those shingles to arrive, and then the contractor will get back on site to do that work. So that's the reason for the trolley barn extension. The next project requesting an extension is Angelina Park, and we've received all the amenities. We had a successful bid. This is going to be done by Barco Builders, and their schedule got delayed due to the rains. With concrete work, you can't necessarily do that in the rain. So a lot of their previous projects that were supposed to be finished earlier got delayed, but they are mobilizing this week at Angelina, and we do expect that project to be completed in about a month's time, 5 to 6 weeks at the longest. But the reason for the extension again is for the establishment of grass, which we won't really get a lot of grass growing this summer, but we should see some in the fall for that. So again, they're starting this week with mobilizing, and then it should move pretty quickly from there. And then the next one is Godfrey Triangle. So Godfrey Triangle, we were able to find a solar light for the flagpole, which we had been trying to do. And we finally found one that we think is going to work. So we've purchased that. We're ready to put it in. And then the next piece was the irrigation. We had originally requested quotes from our on-call vendors. And by mass procurement law, anything over $50,000 excuse me, would need to be bid. So the quotes we received for Godfrey originally, in just requesting those quotes, was about $65,000. So then we had to pivot and issue a formal bid through the Office of Procurement, and that bid opens this week. So once we have that opened, we can see what the pricing is and then get going on that. Again, once we have a contractor under contract to do that work, it should move pretty quickly. And we anticipate that work happening hopefully starting in June, but we're having a bit of a delay in getting contracts issued, which has been another stumbling block this spring. And then the final is the Bay Path Cemetery project. Again, we tried to use our on-call vendors for the site work and what they're doing there, but the bids came in. Actually, I was surprised that they came in so high. They were closer to $85,000, $90,000. So we are working with the Office of Procurement to issue a public bid for that project. Again, and doing everything with one vendor so we can get that all the new granite post and granite post with hitching post with the new chain fence and the granite work. So that was the delay on that one. I was really hoping that they would have come in under 50, but pricing has just been all over the place this spring. So that's the brief overview, and I'll take any questions.
So any questions from committee members? No. So not hearing any, can we have a motion to be willing to extend the contract to December 31st of 2025?
So
Make that
moved.
motion.
Second.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not hearing any, we'll take the vote then. Clinton,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Juanita,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes.
Great,
So
thank you.
Laura, I have two questions for you.
Yes.
We had at one point talked about having a Memorial Day ceremony at Godfrey Triangle. Now that the Eagle is back,
Yes.
since the park's still not done yet, can we look toward Veterans Day
Yeah,
for
I
a
think that would
combination
be great.
ceremony and
Yep.
ribbon cutting?
Yeah, I think that would be a very appropriate time there, and gives us a chance I know the neighborhood was interested in doing something like that as well, and this will give them a chance they wanted to be involved in the planning, so that'll give us some time to put that together.
Right.
I think that would be
And
great.
the other question I have is regarding the trolley pavilion.
Yes.
We had talked about, that buildings need to be in use in order to be maintained. So what is the plan to how that space will be utilized once the project is complete?
Yeah, we've started talking about that. Obviously, this project's been ongoing for a little bit, so we've had those discussions. There's been some discussions about how we can use it for recreation. And we do have a lot of tennis tournaments and tennis camps and things like that that are operating during the summer that can help use that space as well. We've been in talks with the Springfield Garden Club and maybe doing some flower presentations and shows there. I know they've been using the Monkey House for some of that, but we'd like to extend that to the trolley barn. And we're always looking for ways that we can use that. It's just trying to find something that's more, not just event driven, but something that's a little bit more frequent. So if you don't, I can go back to the drawing board with our crew there and get back to you, Bob, with some more options.
Oh, great, sure. And at one point, I thought you'd mentioned something about chess and checkers. So
Yeah,
don't know if
we
that-
did in the beginning. Yeah, so we've kind of been compiling lists of things and programs
Ah.
that we think would be appropriate to start there.
Yeah.
And also like with the school right next door, right across the street, they do use the park a lot. So if there's ways that they can utilize it during the school day,
Yeah.
we're open to that too. It's
Okay.
such a unique building. I have a lot of memories of, I went to Forest Park Junior High there, so I spent a lot of time in that trolley barn, and it's great to see it coming back to life.
Yeah, the checkers and chess, that sounds like a great idea. I mean, it's easy to set up and take down,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
And I don't know whether Vietnamese folks play mahjong. Certainly Chinese folks do,
Yeah.
but given that there's a significant Vietnamese population in Forest Park, maybe something that deals with mahjong as well. But
I'm just learning how to play that game.
oh,
Yeah.
It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, and there's a lot more there's a lot of people that are beginning to play mahjong. So
Yeah.
yeah, could be another one added there.
Yes, well, any other suggestions, we'll take them. We are always trying to increase recreation in the park, but especially something as so what's the prominent as the trolley barn would be great to draw people in.
Backgammon.
Oh, nice. Another one, backgammon. I love it. If you have a moment, and I don't want to take up too much time of your agenda, but I do have some pictures of the Spanish-American War Monument. That work has been completed.
sure. We'd
so if
love to
you-
see them.
If you have a moment, I will be sending it all in a report, but sometimes it's
Yeah.
a little easier to see on the screen.
And we're even getting money back. That's good.
Yes, we there's about 15,000 left there, so we'll be returning that.
15,000. You put a quick little application next year for tables for chess and
Yeah,
and
perfect.
checkers.
I love
One
it.
one table works for both.
That's great. So let me just share my screen.
Ping pong.
Karen, I just need permission. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm just gonna make this smaller so I can see the. Okay, so this was the before picture. So you can see, and the project, we were able to do all the restoration work for the granite monument itself, the bronze plaques. They also did some work for the brick apron and just kind of moved that urn that's a little crooked, kind of put it back in
That's it.
space into its spot. So this was the before shot. There's a few more befores just to remind yourself of what it looked like. I thought it was cool to see their process. This is during the project. We worked with Daedalus out of Eastern Mass. They're wonderful. They did great work.
That's it.
Yep. And this is the restoration of the bronze patina. And there's more, but they'll be in the report too. And then this is the restoration of the bricks there. Okay.
Nice,
So these are the after shots.
nice.
And then here it is all nice, and it really
Wow.
stands out to you now when you're driving
Wow.
through that area.
Yeah.
That's nice. Really
Very
good.
nice.
Very nice.
And maybe we should see whether the neighborhood wants to do something some sort of ribbon cutting there.
Yes, we can follow up with them on that. There's just around the corner here, they also had some ARPA money down here right past this yellow truck for Jaime Aloha Park. That just received a new pavilion, and both of those projects are finishing, that Jaime Aloha is finishing up this week. So I could see them wanting to maybe
And,
highlight both
and
of them.
Laura, what did you decide for the CPA acknowledgement plaque? Where's
Yes,
that gonna go?
we're putting a plaque on a boulder, and we're going to put that here in one of the landscaped areas. I'm actually
Mhm.
picking up
Yeah.
the temporary plaque for now. The bronze plaque will be ready later this summer.
Yeah,
Do we have spotlights on it as well?
No, there's no lights on it. There's only road lights here,
Right.
for the
I think
intersection.
spotlights could be dangerous because that's a big intersection
Yeah.
and could confuse people. Yeah, I think that would not be a great idea.
Yeah, it's not an area, unfortunately, that, I mean, you can walk to it, but there's not a crosswalk directly to it or an entrance, pedestrian entrance to it, because the road is on all three sides. There's vehicle traffic. So, but you are able to walk, you can cross over from Main Street here. You see,
And-
and there's just another
and,
view.
in the before sign, when the contractor was working on it, I saw his sign
I know.
prominently displayed. Was our banner also prominently
this-
displayed?
My one failing, for some reason, Bob, that banner, I don't know what happened to it over the course of the time, and by the time we figured it out, the project was already starting and they were going to be done before it would be ordered. And I apologize for that. That is my one. Usually we catch these things ahead of time. Karen and I are always double checking, and she didn't have it. I didn't have it because I keep all of the banners in one spot. I don't know what happened to it. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, even more important than that there be a ribbon cutting.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. I'm making note of that now. But that was a great project, and you really can see the difference in that restoration work.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, so,
Okay,
but.
Do we
and
know what
the-
that plaque looks like? The CPA plaque?
Yep,
What's it
it's gonna be similar to our other plaques that we've done. We've done these at the Forest Park Picnic Grove, the Forest Park Aquatic Garden, Cottage Hill. Off the top of my head, those are the three that jump out, but I think we've done them in other places. It'll be on a nice boulder, and it'll be a nice bronze plaque. The temporary plaque is more of like a stick-on plastic plaque for now, while the bronze plaque is being made. So it'll have the, recognize the CPA and the funding support. And I'll include the
good.
temporary one in the report for the monument, so you see it.
Very good.
Yep. Thank you all so much. I'm happy to answer questions on any other CPA projects that we have. If you have any questions, I know there's a lot going on this year. You guys are keeping me busy, which is great.
any other questions? Okay, and I take it, will you be at the city council meeting on Monday?
Yeah, I'll be up. I plan to go to both the subcommittee and the main meeting.
Oh, I didn't even know we're on the subcommittee.
Oh, it said 5 o'clock, so I just assumed it was subcommittee.
Oh, I better check with Mike Fenton. I wasn't planning on going.
If we don't need to go to the subcommittee, I'll just go to the regular one. But in the past, there's usually been subcommittee and then,
Yeah, I think last year they did not. I think it was
Okay.
decided that it would just go to the full council, and if there were concerns or
Then it
questions,
would
that one item would go off to committee. And
okay,
I don't think
great.
there were any, but I will double check. with
Yeah, I'll
Mike
double
Fenton.
check as well. Maybe I could have just misread it, which is very possible. So one meeting versus two is better for
Yeah.
It's at 6 o'clock, correct?
I believe so. Yeah. Well,
No,
usually the
no.
council meetings start at 7.
Seven. Seven is the council meeting, and I would encourage all of you to be there, because I think this is the culmination of a year's work, and so it's always good. Juanita will be there because I will be, as I've done throughout this process with the Stockbridge Street proposal, I will continue to recuse myself, and Juanita will actually present that project to the council.
Nice. It's generally a great meeting. They're all very appreciative of your efforts and all of the good work that CPA has done. So it's always kind of nice to hear that feedback. So generally they've been receptive. There's
Yeah.
always questions, but they're usually
Yeah. And there may be a project or two that a counselor doesn't like and whatever, but all right. Well, thank you, Laura.
Thank you all very much. And if I don't see you next week, have a wonderful summer and
Yep.
we will see you again in the fall.
Okay.
Okay, see you.
Take care.
Bye.
Good job. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
So the next item on the agenda is to see whether we want to provide any feedback to any of the non-recommended projects, other than this was a very competitive year. We're sorry we didn't have enough money to help everybody. You know, that's what everyone will generally get and reapply next year. But there may be some projects that we want to make some comments to so they can tweak their application for the next year. So my thought is I'm going to quickly go through the non-recommended applications, starting with those that I don't think they need any recommendations. But clearly, if any of you do, stop me and we will discuss them. And then I've put last in the pile those that I think we could give a comment to. So with that being said, there's the 201 Maple Street project, which is the Wallace House. Remember, that's the one with the tile roof. Other than telling them, sorry, apply next year, does anyone have anything else they want to say to them?
Well, wasn't that the roof that was not tiled originally? Is that?
No. No, this is the one that the house has been a tiled roof for 100 years.
Oh, this isn't part of the academy.
It is.
It is. So,
Yeah.
oh, I thought, I guess it's another one. There was one that they wanted to put tiles, but originally there weren't tiles. Is that what
No,
you said?
so the one that we recommended,
The
they had
admin building?
They had two, the Ames house,
Oh,
they
yeah,
had-
okay, it had
they had
two as,
two options.
right,
Yeah.
One
right.
of which was doing slate, which at least for the last 100 years, there hasn't been slate on it. This house, they also had two options. One, it was initially to do either a slate roof or an asphalt shingle roof. And we pointed out that the house historically has had the orange tile roof, and to do anything other than that would be not in compliance with the Secretary of the Interior standards. So they did research and came back as to how much more it would cost to do a tile roof, but we didn't recommend them. So other than saying they should come back with a tile roof proposal next year, I don't know if we have to do anything else.
No, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Okay. Then we had the Immaculate Conception Church replacement of their regular windows in the basement parish hall area. Other than saying reapplying, do we have to say anything else?
No, I don't think so.
No. All right. Then we have the Demore Museum, the continuation of the window replacement. You know, we've funded window replacements on 3 sides of the building. They were then asking for the 4th side, which is the side facing Christ Church Cathedral. So once again, I don't see the need for any comment other than sorry, reapply next year. Thoughts?
Agreed.
No,
I
that
agree.
sounds good.
Agree.
Yeah. Nathanville Playground. This is the one that they wanted a tennis court converted to a pickleball court, and then they wanted a walking path around the park.
Again, that could be one next year,
Yeah,
both of them.
okay. Myrtle Street Playground improvements. This was to continue doing work on Myrtle Street. If you remember, we had originally a couple years ago recommended they wanted a walking path with exercise equipment and we recommended that, city council approved it. And then the park department and the neighborhood came back to us and said, we really need playground equipment for younger kids more than we need the exercise equipment. And can we change it? And we said, yes. So this application was for a variety of other things in the park. So just come back next year.
Agreed.
And pick one.
Yeah. 275 Maple Street. This was Commonwealth Academy. It was the carriage house that had the bad roof where it was missing for a while. Other than saying, come back next year, I don't have anything. Anyone else do?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Mulberry House roof restoration. This is the condo building on Mulberry Street. I don't think we need anything other than come back
Yeah.
next. Kimball Towers, where they were doing exterior work on it.
Seems like they're doing work. I drove by it.
Yeah, I saw scaffolding. Yeah.
Correct. I
Yeah.
think some work's taking place, so clearly we can't reimburse for work done, but if they
Yeah.
still want help with the side of the building, they can reapply.
Mhm.
All right. The last one that I don't have a comments for is Old First Church Parish Hall roof. So anyone have comments other than reapply next year?
Yeah, reapply next year.
Okay. So this is the buildings at Main Street and State Street that the Chicago firm McCaffrey's going to be renovating. And they wanted us to give them money so they could buy the building from the Springfield Redevelopment Authority. And we did not recommend it. My suggestion is they say that we're not comfortable in acquisition. We'd be more welcoming to a request that dealt with exterior rehabilitation.
I think that makes sense. That whole thing to me was so sprawling, a project that I had my trouble getting my arms around it too. And I understand what piece they were looking for, but I guess I agree with you, Bob, in the sense that it'd be better for us to have a more traditional take on what we usually do on that thing.
Yeah. So I guess we probably, if we're going to make a comment, it should be a formal comment. So Steve, do you want to make a motion then that we can then discuss and vote on?
Yes, I move that we convey to the applicant that our preference would be for them to submit a request for example, exterior renovation as opposed to the purchase of a property in the first place.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
All right, any discussion? Not hearing any?
Anyway, I feel like I agree with Steve. It's such a huge project. And once they purchase it and they can break down to something smaller, that would be a better way of applying for money.
Mhm.
I mean,
Okay,
it is a
So-
massive project.
No, it's huge.
any other comments? So if not, we'll take the vote. Steve,
Yes,
Juanita,
This yes is for what?
giving them the comment that
Oh,
we.
giving them the comment. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Bob is a yes. 2612 Main Street. This is the large vacant apartment building in the north end on the corner of Main and Arch Street. And the city asked for money to hire an architect to draw up specs. And I guess my feeling is we should tell them that we're no longer interested simply in plans. We'd be more interested in providing a developer assistance program like we did with the 4 Maple Street row houses to attract a developer.
No, that sounds,
How much,
because it's again, it's like a study,
how much were they
It's a
looking
study.
for the study?
Pardon?
I'm
Say
sorry,
that again?
how much were they looking for the study?
They were asking for, I think, 100,000. So they would hire an architect who would go through and basically make the determination on what the building needed, so that when they put it out for requests for proposals, people would have a sense of that.
Yeah. It's a little
But,
steep.
the problem we have with architect studies is it is eligible only if it leads to community housing. If you do the study and let's say you put it out for RFP and no one wants the building and the building never gets fixed for community housing, we've basically funded an ineligible activity.
Good point.
Plus, it's
So,
pretty steep.
well, this is, I'm sure this is, it's a big building and it's
I
a
know.
drawing, but let the
But it-
developer decide what to do.
And we've talked about this in the past. I mean, studies are expensive.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of studies, but haven't seen many things come to
Yeah.
fruition. So, yeah, I think a moratorium on studies is a good idea.
Well, we're not voting on that right now. What we're voting on is what to tell the city,
Right.
which is we're not particularly interested in an architectural study. We would be more interested in a developer incentive, as was done with the Maple Street row houses.
Right.
So if folks are in agreement, I need a motion so we can have a discussion and then a vote.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, any other discussion on this? All
Oh, we
right.
just got Yolanda.
Oh, hey, Yolanda,
Hi.
welcome. We're in the process of talking about some of the projects that did not get recommended, as to whether we wanted to give them some feedback beyond simply saying, well, we didn't have enough money for everybody to the competitive program applying next year. And there were a bunch of them that we didn't feel necessary to give comments to. There were 3 or 4 that we did. And we're now discussing the proposal for the apartment building at 212 Main Street in the North End. And the motion that's been made is that we let them know that we're not particularly interested in financing studies of buildings. We would be more interested in funding incentives for their actual exterior restoration.
That sounds good.
So we're about ready to vote on that because Juanita made the motion, seconded by Judy. So we'll start. Juanita,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Yolanda,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. So there are the 2 houses on Goldenrod Street. And my sense is we should tell them that they should pick a less costly house to build to begin with. They picked a design of a house that cost $600,000 almost, and therefore needed $300,000 to write it down. So, there are less expensive houses that can be built that may not need so high of a CPA subsidy to make them affordable. I don't know, what are people's thoughts?
Yeah, I noticed that too, Bob. I mean, that's one reason I couldn't support those 2.
Definitely too costly, too expensive. For that reason, I can't support that project
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. So if maybe if someone would make the motion that we let them know that they should, think of a less expensive house that will require less of a CPA subsidy.
Or,
So,
go into
Oh.
something where it's a more of a multi-development, not just a single
There you go.
single home,
There you
Yeah.
go.
you know?
Yeah.
2-family, 4-family, that's more decent.
yeah. So we could tell them what you were saying, Bob, just and adding, it could be multi-family.
Or okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the motion is to tell them that it was too costly of a single family
Right.
house. They should look for a less expensive house or multifamily housing where the per
Right.
use CPA subsidy will be less.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we'll start the motion. Steve,
Yes.
Juanita,
Yes,
Willie,
Yes,
Yolanda,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
and Bob is a yes. And then the last two are the two new houses that were to be built on Marshall Street and Hancock Street. My guess is it should be the same comment to them.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agree.
Okay. So, someone want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
All right.
I'll
Second?
second.
All right. So any discussion before we take the vote? No. All right. So we will start off Clinton,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Billy,
yes,
Juanita,
Yes,
Steve,
Yes.
Yolanda.
Yes.
All right. Well, those are the total number of projects that didn't get recommended. So Karen, you and I can talk about the exact wording, but that's basically it. Great. And just one update regarding developer incentives. I guess I'm happy to report that the modernist house on Byers Street, which attracted a few developers, the review committee has invited a local developer who has a very good track record in fixing up houses in McKnight and in the Maple Hill area, to be the preferred developer of Byers Street. The developer now has to put together his actual financing package. But it seems, it seems optimistic that the incentive we provided will indeed get the building fixed.
that's great.
Mm.
That's great.
Good.
All right. The next item I wanted to brief the committee on is some proposed changes that the Springfield Historical Commission is considering. The Office of Planning and Economic Development hired a consultant to look at the varying historic rules that are housed in different ordinances in different places in city law and to consolidate them. And the consultant has done that, but he has proposed a change that certainly affects what we do to a degree. As you know, the state law allows CPA to help with historic resources, and the state law defines a historic resource as either being on the state register of historic places or being found by the local preservation committee to be of significance to the city because of either history, architecture, archaeology, or culture. So people that come to us are told ahead of time who want to submit an application, if you're not in a local historic district or already on the state register, you need to go and get a determination from the Springfield Historical Commission that you're of significance. And then if they're not in a local district, we require that they have exterior protection, which means the local commission starts the process to create a local historic district for them. The proposal that's in this change for single buildings or buildings with 5 or less property is that the Mass Historical Commission or the National Park Service has to find them eligible for listing on the National Register in order for them to become a local historic district. Now, the state local historic district law doesn't require that. So it leaves us in the position that we could have the Historical Commission vote that a building is significant for history, architecture, archaeology, or culture. We fund it, and then because there's not a determination that it's eligible for the National Register, a local historic district can't be protected. So Clinton, you're muted if you were saying something. So I'm going to they're doing a public hearing on it on June 12th. I'm going to attend that and raise the concern. And I guess I would rather raise it saying the committee has voted something as opposed to just me as the chair of the committee has a feeling. But it's whatever you want to do. I think this section should be removed. It's up to the local commission to determine whether properties are important to the city enough to protect. The other issue that's problematic is the Massachusetts Historical Commission is not in the habit of responding to people with a determination as to whether their building's eligible for the National Register. You know, you just don't send them a letter and say, gee, I own this building. Is it eligible for the National Register? You fill out a National Register application, and then they'll make a determination. But short of that, you'll never get an answer back. So this is sort of a catch-22 that you can't have a small district unless the building's determined by an outside agency, which is a higher level of government than the ordinance.
So that would be the change.
That's the proposed change that you want. That going forward, you can't create a local historic district for either one building or less than 5 buildings unless all of them have been determined to be eligible by either the Mass Historical Commission or the National Park Service. Right now, there's not that requirement.
What do you think?
So,
what do you think the
could we-
policy behind that
Oh,
is?
go ahead.
I'm just wondering, what would the policy be behind that? An aversion to creating too many local historic districts and the potential confusion with that?
That would be my interpretation, that the bureaucracy doesn't like the creation of individual local historic districts.
Yeah, that's just some. I mean, there's always been there's been grumblings about that for a while on some levels too. So I guess I'm not surprised to see something like this pop up. But yeah, you're right. It definitely puts us in a tough position.
So an example of this would be that area where the Stockbridge building is, and that area behind it when they want to create that.
Well, the better example would be, at least that affects us, is we have voted to recommend now twice that Daniel's New Bethel Church up on Dwight Street in the North End, which is started off as a Jewish synagogue and is now an African American Pentecostal church. We voted to assist them, and the Historical Commission has already ruled that they are indeed significant to the city because of probably history and architecture. So now we could find that because no one ever makes a determination as to that they're eligible for the National Register, that district could never be done. The church that we voted to help with the roof work, the ecumenical church up on Eastern Avenue and King Street, which was the former our Holy Family Catholic Church. That once again is not on the state register. The local commission has indeed given a certificate, a vote that it's important to the city because of architecture, but it's not on the National Register. That could,
No,
So we could vote not to accept this new ruling, or do we have a choice?
well, it is not up to us, but we could certainly vote that we urge them to remove that section C that speaks to
Yeah.
what I think are unreasonable requirements for creating small local historic districts.
so the thing is, Bob, our alternative to a historic district is the restriction in perpetuity, right?
Correct.
So we'd
Correct.
have, that's what we'd be left with, the only thing we'd be left with. Correct?
Correct. Correct.
Uh,
But to me, the bigger issue is we can't, and I went to their initial hearing as the consultant was beginning the work, and I raised the concern that we can't have, in a sense, double standards that the historical commission determines that something is important enough for CPA funding, but not historic enough to qualify for the National Register.
Right.
Hmm.
I don't know. Judy,
That's
I
a
don't
tough
want
one.
to put you on the hot seat, but you have any thoughts?
Oh no, I don't feel like I'm on the hot seat. I really do not understand. I heard you and Steve say, maybe because of bureaucracy. I don't understand why the Commonwealth wants to have this as a rule.
But it's not the Commonwealth, it's the Springfield Historical Commission.
No, well, that I think came about because of something else that I can't talk about on here, but that is still why I have to be at this meeting, because I really do not understand the particulars of the policy well enough to address it here.
Okay. Fair enough.
Excuse me, Bob. When we
Yeah.
talk about the preservation restriction in perpetuity, it's also possible to do less than perpetuity, up to like 30 years. Just putting that out there. I know that's not something we'd prefer, but there would still be some kind of,
Correct.
plan B there.
Correct.
But is our positions jeopardized, even if we do make our determination that it's historically significant and require a perpetuity restriction or whatever we require, are we still, is the determination of historic under the CPA our determination, or are we still subject to somebody else's?
Oh, no, the determination as to whether a property is a historic resource is left to the historical commission, not to us.
Local commission, right?
The
Okay.
local commission. So either it is already on the state register or it's not. And if it's not, then the state law requires that the local commissions, historical commission, make a determination. If they were to say, using Daniels, if they said it's not significant, then Daniels New Bethel Church would never have been able to come to us for money.
So that's where the decision is made. Okay. So what's historical and what isn't is not in our realm.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Correct. We have, though, made our policy decision, which is if you're a historic resource and you get CPA money, we want you permanently protected.
Right.
And that's either a local historic district if you're not already in one, or it's a exterior preservation restriction.
Bob, do you think that it's helpful that they're working on a larger historic district that encompasses more, I think it's the Apremont as well as Mattoon, like a larger, like, is that helpful for us at all? That's
Well,
happening.
clearly, if the city were more robust in going on its own and creating local historic districts, or it would be helpful because that would mean fewer applicants then have to go through the individual process. I don't see the city doing that. I mean, the
Well,
city,
well, they're doing one, right? That includes up Buyer Street.
I know, I think that they are studying it. I'm not sure if they are doing it.
Ah, okay.
There's a big difference between that. So, and just to bring the other committee members up to speed, you know, we gave Wayfinders money for 3 historic apartment buildings that are part of a district that's on the National Register. And therefore we said, you got to permanently protect them. And they went through the process, and Mass Historic said, yeah, they're okay, but we think you should do a larger district. And that's what the city is looking into, doing a larger local historic district. But that's not the same thing as actually doing the district.
I don't know, Bob. I think it's getting closer. It's on their agenda coming up, and there was a preliminary that
Well,
was,
that's immaterial, Karen, to the issue that's coming up on June 12th, where there is an ordinance change being proposed for 5 or less properties.
right. Doesn't help us now.
Correct.
Hmm.
So I'm perfectly fine going without the committee having taken a particular position on this. I will certainly speak for myself.
Well, no, we can, I mean, I think I sense a consensus that we think this is not a good thing, that it's going to, jeopardize potential applicants who might, be coming before us and reasonably have, what in our view would be a historic property, which might not in the end become a historic property in the view of whoever needs to make it outside of us. So
Correct. Mm-hmm.
that concerns me.
So it's sort of like where the Dr. Seuss's house is, right? Because that whole district's not considered historic, but the house is itself, correct?
The Dr. Seuss's house in Forest Park?
No, what is the one that's what is that? They consider that house across the street from Commerce on the backside, where the soccer field or football field is.
Well, so let me say this, Yolanda. Dr. Seuss grew up in part of his young life in a house that's on Fairfield Street in the Forest Park neighborhood. And that is indeed part of the Forest Park Heights Local Historic District, which is
Okay.
also on the National Register. And the building is owned by the Springfield Museums. There was a house on Mulberry Street in
That one.
the Ridgewood Local Historic District that got torn down years ago without the permission of the Historical Commission.
Right.
And the urban myth was it was Dr. Seuss's house. It was never Dr. Seuss's house.
Oh, it wasn't.
It was on
Okay.
Mulberry Street, which
Mhm.
Dr. Seuss may have made famous by his book, To Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
but that is also a local historic district. So, for example, when the School Street School, which is the home of the YSET program, came to us several years ago for help with window repair, they didn't have to do anything because they were already within a local historic district.
Mm,
We could, they just needed a determination from the commission that they were a contributing part of that historic district, but they didn't have to get a new designation because they already had it.
okay.
Well, Bob, I mean, I think we can convey make a motion to convey a sense of the our group to the Historic Commission that we would be opposed to the implementation of this particular change. I know I am.
Mm.
Okay.
I mean,
All
if
right.
that's something that's gonna be, we think that would be a helpful thing for you to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, then make that motion, Steve. It is technically Article 3, Section C of the proposed ordinance.
Article 3, Article what? I'm sorry.
Article 3,
Yep.
Section C,
C, okay.
single building and districts with 5 or less properties.
Okay. I move that the commission convey a sense of the group to the historical commission that Article 3, Section C of the proposed new regulations should not be adopted.
I'll
Okay.
second that.
Second, okay. Any discussion or any further discussion? Okay, well, we'll take a vote then. Steve,
Yes.
Yolanda,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Judy,
I'm gonna recuse myself from this one.
okay, Juanita,
Yes,
Clinton,
Yes.
and Bob is yes. All right. The next item is I am not going to be participating in the discussion. So Karen, would you present the next item on the agenda?
Okay, my screen is black again, but I am getting audio and I'm watching you on my phone.
And we can hear you. Yep.
Good. And what is the next item, Bob?
Next item is the SPT letter of support.
Okay, so would you like me to read it or what?
Well, either screen share it, but if you can't screen share it, read it.
Okay, both are difficult for me at this moment to do. But if someone, maybe Juanita, if you could pull it up on your computer, you do have it there. I sent it with the agenda and minutes, or someone.
Hold on.
Okay, now
Oh.
I am. Okay, actually now I am
SPT, I got
able.
this here. Hold on.
Karen, I don't know if I can get it. Oh, it's coming.
I have it if you want to try my thing.
Okay, anyone would be good.
Here we are. Let me go to my Zoom here. So I'm going to share. I'm doing this, right?
Sure, yes, that would be great.
Actually, let me find this thing. Of course, I had it a minute ago.
Okay, I have it up. I just don't know if you can see it.
I can't find it now. Sorry.
Yeah, we see it.
Okay,
We see
great.
it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You got it? Okay. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Okay, so I don't know how long it'll last for me, but the Springfield Preservation Trust is looking to apply for a grant, so they asked us to send in a letter of support. And that's for 7-9 Stockbridge Street, underutilized properties grant. And it's for Mass Development, dear members of Mass Development Selection Committee. The Springfield Community Preservation Committee has voted to support the Springfield Preservation Trust application for pre-development funding from the Underutilized Property Program. In 2023, the committee recommended and the City Council approved a Community Preservation Act grant for exterior work on 79 Stockbridge Street, including masonry, windows, roof, exterior painting for $150,520. Additionally, the Springfield Preservation Trust submitted another Community Preservation Act grant this year for the stabilization of the building for $300,000. The committee has voted to recommend this application, and it is on the City Council agenda for June 9th. Do you want me to read all this, or you just want it for the record to be read? Anyone?
You could, I mean, there's just a couple of paragraphs if you want.
Okay, the underutilized property grant is crucial for the Springfield Preservation Trust to rejuvenate this deteriorated vacant historic building. We view 79 Stockbridge Street as a symbiotic project in the redevelopment of the entire block, which will reinvigorate our walkable downtown area where economic investment is a key focus. The Springfield Community Preservation Committee is excited. We're very excited about this. The prospect of seeing this historic building revitalized, which will provide both significant economic and cultural value. The underutilized property grant for pre-construction will provide the architectural plans to pave the way for interior work. After the pre-construction phase, Springfield Preservation Trust will redevelop and reuse this building to provide public access to its office on the first floor and add 2 rental units to the downtown housing supply. We strongly support Springfield Preservation Trust's application for mass development funds and look forward to the restoration and reuse of downtown's 3rd oldest building in our downtown landscape. Sincerely, Karen Lee, Administrative Consultant. Any changes you want to make to this? Any thoughts?
It sounds really good, Karen. Good
Sounds
job.
great. Sounds great to me.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm behind this 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, this sounds like a really good project. I like when they made their presentation. Sounds like a really, really good project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I'll send it out to her tonight. The application's due tomorrow. So great. Thank you.
Take a vote.
Yeah, take a vote.
Oh, okay. Could we get a motion to send this support letter into the Springfield Preservation Trust for the underutilized grant program?
So moved.
Second.
Second,
Okay. I lost everyone's face. Wait, you're on my phone though. Okay, Clinton,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Juanita,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Steve,
yes.
and Yolanda.
Yes.
Am I missing anyone?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay, motion passes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you told me
Thank
as
you.
having recused.
And
Okay,
Bob
thank
is
you.
recused, yes.
So we have no other business unless there is something important that happens in the next 2 months. We will not see each other until September.
Woo.
Now,
So,
normally
this
we
a-
would meet on September 2nd, the first Tuesday. Karen's suggesting we probably may want to meet on the 9th. So check your calendars and make sure the 9th works for you. That will be our annual public hearing to solicit input on what are CPA possible opportunities and what are needs that CPA can address. And also, oh,
Is that going to be a
also-
Zoom meeting or in?
Well, you know,
person?
I would like to see us adopt a hybrid form of meeting where those that can meet at a location and those that can't zoom in. And so Karen and I will be looking at the various options, in which case, if it is a hybrid meeting, it was like it was a couple years ago where we met at Focus Springfield and people could either, both the members and the public could either attend in person or zoom in into it. But I
We
think
have our Conservation Commission meetings are hybrid. And we have there's a screen there in the meeting room, and so if people can attend, mostly everybody attends, but there's always sometimes that somebody can't, and so it's there, and it works very well
Yeah. Okay. And that's at Tapley Street? that
on
you're
Tapley
meeting?
Street.
Yeah.
I wonder
I
if
mean,
we
I
could
think-
use that space.
Well, that's one of the things to look into. The other is there is the conference room on the second floor of City Hall.
Mhm.
You know, part of the problem is that we are, in a sense, the orphan committee,
Yeah.
where conservation is staffed out of the planning department. And we are not. So whether we can get access, this is what Karen will be looking
Right.
into over the summer. So I'm hoping that by September, we have found a location that we can meet live in for those of us, and others can Zoom in.
Perfect.
All
Okay.
right. So listen, thank you for all your hard work during this year. Enjoy the summer. And if you can, please be present either in person or by Zoom for the June 9th City Council meeting. So a
Okay.
motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
All right, seconded by
Second.
Clinton. Just wave your
Oh.
hand or say yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Good summer.
Have a
Happy
good
Happy
Karen,
summer.
don't-
Good job,
don't-
everybody.
Yeah, Karen, don't disappear immediately. So
Oh, okay.
I just want to make sure, can you just double check with Gladys to make sure that everything is all set on the agenda for the 9th?
I will do that.
All right.
All
Very
right.
good.
Well,
All right, everyone.
thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
guys.
Everyone.
Okay, bye.